Hi there, listener. You're about to experience TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games, and there will be plenty of game talk, but also copious amounts of crude, off-color, offensive, and immature speech. So if you are of a rather sensitive humor constitution, we're just letting you know what you're in for with this show. It has games. It has jokes. You know, just games and jokes. Take the games, take the jokes, and have a good time.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast. It's a show that happens twice a week where two old guys and then one slightly younger guy, but still would probably qualify as an older guy. We're not really talking about, we might talk about some old games.
It might come up. Might not.
It is Other Shit Monday. We are at Dragon. As you listen to this, we are at DragonCon somewhere.
But
DragonCon!
as we're recording it, we're not.
Yeah,
We're just anxiously waiting to leave.
So for this special episode, we are doing, I think they get more listens than the All Call shows. Slightly. So we're going to do an interview with Ramon Castillo. Hello, Ramon.
Hey, Ramon.
Hey, guys.
Wait, I thought we were talking to Ramon.
No, I mean,
How did Wolverine get here?
hey, guys.
And I think I see Snagglepuss, too.
Stage left, even.
That's a pretty good Snagglepuss. Let's hear your Snagglepoon.
That's right. That's what she
The
said.
TADPOG
Yeah.
spinoff character.
That's Snagglepuss's tadpog cousin, Snagglepoon.
It's just a vagina.
You know how when you were a kid and you wondered if Snagglepuss was gay? Snagglepoon is definitely not. You know immediately.
He's purple. Not pink. Yeah, hi, guys.
So let's see. Normally there'd be some sort of intro here, or Ramon, do you have a anecdote to start us off with? A story about you, something to lay the groundwork.
Do the heavy lifting for us.
Right, I mean, this whole thing's about me, guys.
It is.
Yeah, no pressure. Tyler, we were talking about something the other day on Facebook.
But I cleared our histories and we said we weren't going to talk about it again.
Yeah.
Our thick veins.
And that conversation ended with the pipes are clean. Clear history.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's that. Oh, right. So Tyler and I were talking about, actually yesterday, the various amount of people that we've met that have claimed to not be able to get drunk.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And this is something that I've never claimed, but for whatever reason, I guess because I don't know, I guess I come across as the serious guy, and I guess among our friends, I'm one of the more serious people. So it's people are like, I'm always the guy that people kind of like challenge to stuff, you know, like, I'm not gonna get drunk, you're not gonna get me drunk. And then that, for whatever reason, just that sort of challenge. And I think, Dave, you have this sort of personality too. It's like the don't step on the wet grass, don't touch the wet paint sort of deal. Like, oh, believe me, you're gonna get drunk, right?
Sure.
So,
I don't follow you, but yeah, I'm just going to say yeah because you're the guest.
I mean, like, if somebody challenges you to something, right? And you feel like you can, like, this is something in your wheelhouse, you're like, yeah, I'm going to prove that you're wrong.
Oh, yeah, certainly. But if it's not in my wheelhouse, I'm totally like, yeah, you're right. I can't do that.
Also, I don't think I've ever seen you drunk at a 10, Ramon, but I feel like drunk at like a 7, and you're still pretty normal.
Yeah, so, and
Like
I
people
will
will
fully
think they
admit,
can outdrink you, but like you're drunk, but you just don't seem like belligerently drunk.
yeah, well, I would say that one of my greatest strengths is my willpower, and my just ability to hang on, and my entire tolerance for things such as alcohol, painkillers, and anything that sort of affects my ability to focus.
What's the feat that allows you to make a wisdom save instead of a constitution save?
Steadfast determination.
Nice. You've got that?
Yes.
I have it as like the majority of my D&D characters.
You have it tattooed on you?
Tyler,
That's
you
my
get
trap
1,000.
stamp. Steadfast determination. Like, rub up my asshole. Go slowly, steadfast determination.
Are you about done yet? And you just point to it on your back. Fuck.
It's in like old time Victorian script, so it's kind of hard to read.
It's beautiful.
Like, take your time. Yeah. So I would say that patience and like just like this like grit is probably my thing. And patience over the years, obviously, but Tyler knows that I have an extreme amount of willpower. I'm a very willful individual. And and I'll never admit that I don't get drunk, because I do get drunk. And Tyler obviously knows that I've been drunk, but I don't appear it. Now, when I turned 25, I don't actually recall who all was there. So this kind of tells you how bad it got. But when I turned 25, my wife threw a party for me at this really high-end bed and breakfast place in Paducah. It was like, it's across the street from Max's, and you wouldn't even know it existed unless you sort of knew the area. And so we go in there, have a great time, and just had a blast. And they had like old Nintendo games, like regular Nintendo. And I sort of don't remember everyone that was there. I know that Link was there, of course, and obviously he got belligerently drunk, and somebody had to, or actually several people had to carry him. I remember he broke a door, also per the usual. Because if Link doesn't break something on his body or something like breaks around him, it's not a good party. It's
either a door, his heart, or something of Link's is breaking.
A femur, right? And then I remember what was so funny about that is that it was the only scenario in the history of time which we actually had another guy big enough to pick him up, which was Chuck.
I remember Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know Chuck.
Looks like a 32-year-old giant baby.
Yeah.
I think he ran for mayor. I'm not positive.
I like he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did run for mayor. And I love Chuck. And Chuck is definitely, he's not a heavy drinker. So he was like totally with it. And big old Link was on the floor. And it was the funniest thing is Chuck helping carry Link to bed. Like, if I had a picture of that, it would be my all time. Right? It's just two big dudes just like lovingly carrying, like Chuck just like holding his head so he doesn't vomit.
That should have been his whole campaign. Like, that should have been like the main crux.
Yeah. Like all the American soldiers putting up the American flag. It's just Chuck carrying Link. Because those are two guys from completely different worlds, with Ramon as the only union between them.
Yeah. Wait, I wasn't running. Although I guess I could have been his running mate at that point. So anyway, so I, it's my birthday, so everybody is just like forcing drinks down me, and Link knows. So not everybody knows, but Link knows that I'm hard to get drunk. Like, I'll be tipsy, and I'll basically get to a certain level of drunk, and I'll stay that way the whole night. So Tyler, you've never seen me at a 10.
Nope.
But Link pushed me into an 8, and then eventually a 9, and at one point I passed out.
Would you say you normally keep it at a 6?
I keep it at 100.
Okay. All right. Okay. I wasn't trying to insult you. I was just curious.
Because people don't know the Josh Nance scale is also on a scale of, it's not 1 to 10, it's 1 to 100, and he keeps it at about a 6.
Yeah.
It's a exclusive scale of 6 to 100. There's no numbers in between. It's just 6 to 100.
He just keeps it at 6. So I pass out, and I don't remember anything, and I wake up and I'm in a strange place, and it's one of these weird times that I'm actually so drunk that I wake up half on the floor, half in the bed, sideways, right? Blurry vision, because I wear contacts, so like one of them was like half blinking out of my eye, right? And this place is weird. So I didn't describe this place before, but it's like a hodgepodge sort of hipster arts, like Art Deco sort of bed and breakfast place, right?
Is it the Foxbriar downtown? Is that what you're talking about?
That sounds familiar. Yeah, okay. I would. Maybe, yeah.
That's a nice place.
Yeah,
we'll give them a free plug.
Yeah, so it was, and we had a great time, but really weird, like deer heads in weird places, and like weird abstract art from Earthbound.
I hope they were just trying to fuck with you, like bring in the deer heads and the Earthbound art,
right?
Just put them all around them.
So I don't remember basically past 11 o'clock until when I woke up, which was 10 o'clock the next day. So, and then I just hear people downstairs just talking, and I just come downstairs in just a towel, right? Because I don't know where my clothes are. And I remember it was Ryan, Chuck, Link, my wife. I don't know I think Josh might have been there. I think John Turley might have been there. And this is when you guys were living in Murray at the time too. So I don't actually remember who was still in Paducah at the time. But it was like a bunch of people that I just looked at everybody and was like, what the fuck are all of you people doing together? And then I remembered, I was like, oh, it was my birthday. It was like 4 of you don't know the other 3 at all. And
How are people from 4 different stages of my life that have no knowledge of each other all here together?
Worlds colliding.
And my old landlord.
And then I immediately, and they tried to offer me food, and then I immediately ran upstairs and had the giant, like the biggest whiskey shit I've ever had in my entire life. So I had blacked out once, but that's the only time. But that was interesting, and that was, now I am an old guy. I'm going to be 31 this year. I can announce something cool now that it's official.
Okay.
For my 31st birthday, I'm going to BlizzCon.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
I'm very excited about that. And I'm going for work, under the pretenses that we are, and I'm using air quotes here, that we are working the whole time. But, I mean, this has been engineered for a long time for us to go to BlizzCon in any way possible.
Tyler and I are going as press, so it works out.
Are you?
Pretty good costume. Pretty good
No,
costume.
we're not. I'm curious now what they'd say.
That would be cool. That would be cool. If you want to, I could pass out TADPOG stuff there if you like.
That'd be amazing.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Only hand it to cool people, though.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, my cool radar's pretty good.
I know.
So.
And I do think you have one drunk tell. Or if you're drunk, you're pretty normal. Except I remember each time that you're at least tipsy, that at some point in the evening you would hunch over a little bit, hold one finger up, and kind of do like this side eye, and then like also like shake your fist and make a grimacing motion,
like an angry Santa Claus.
Sorta. And it was more of like a. I'm gonna show Dave as he remembers the face where he go.
Yeah, oh yeah, he does that.
So
for sure.
yeah. More so when he's drunk. That's like, okay, Ramon's doing that to somebody. He's had a few drinks. I know he's at like a 6 or 7 right now.
I wish I could see you on video. Okay, so I put my. Can you see me?
Yeah, this is great for the listeners.
Right.
a little more aggressive, and you need to look
closer to your
a little more
face.
Sly. That's better.
It's
There
close.
you go. That's better.
Now you
I
need
don't
to
know what the fist thing is.
You need
though.
to be sweatier though. Can you make that happen? And a little more red.
I don't know what it is. It's probably me trying to make a point to somebody, right?
Yeah, I think so. A point, or somebody has sassed you in a way that's not insulting, but you still have to recognize the sass.
We don't really know, Ramon. You just do it.
Oh, yeah. Like, you got me. Yeah. That's
You made the expression. I've only seen you use it sober a few times, and during my ACV game, when your character Donalyn was tricked into saving his rival, the Talon, because you went back in time and saved him as a child. And then whenever you realized that you'd save him, you made that motion very directly in my face.
Tyler still
the Talon.
it haunts him in his dreams still, Ramon. He's confessed this to me.
Look.
Yeah.
I just remember that Link and I used to eat a lot of bean burritos before your games, and I didn't always sit next to
Jesus.
Dave, but the one time that I did sit next to
Jesus.
I ripped a giant one on him, and he was so surprised and disgusted that I never did it again.
That's all it took.
Because you always got bean burritos, no onions, no red sauce. Just that jam.
That was just it was just well, I mean, because we were poor college kids, so we'd get like 20 bean burritos, and come to find out, those were really bad for me.
And so was the Smirnoff Triple Black that you spent most of your money on.
Yeah.
All right, Ramon. So I'll start with the questions.
Okay.
Have we introduced ourselves?
I'm your beard host, Tyler.
I'm your
That's me.
bespectacled host, Dave. We're not even gonna try.
No.
I was gonna say that, Ramon, I admire you for still having patience, because that is one thing that I have noticeably seem disappear from my own psyche. Like I got zero fucking patience now. Like it just does not exist because it's like all goes into Henry. Like that's where it's like I'm gonna be patient here. Everything else, fuck off.
Right. Well, that kind of subsides as the kids get older, and you now have this like storage of patience that you don't know what to do with.
Yeah.
So it's just like once you get shit on so many times, like literally physically shit on so many times, not much else bothers you.
I don't. Do you do the thing? Because like I do the thing. Hi, this is a little bit where I talk about my baby. In case everybody, this is a bit I talk about my
We're
baby.
all dads.
Like I got to a point where when I get peed on, it's not even like pee. Like if someone else did it, I'd be upset and be like, "Oh man, you peed on me."
Never mind then. Never mind.
Yeah.
There's some exceptions. But like when he does it, it's just kind of like, that's just baby liquid. They just do that sometimes.
I mean, I would still change and stuff, but only if that was like readily available. I mean, I most likely would just go like wipe it off or something and be like go to the bathroom and just get like some warm water and some soap and just be done with it. Just like you're washing your hands. Like I'll clean him and then I'll kind of be clean. But
you mean, you're not supposed to immediately take the shirt off and put it on eBay? There's a market for that.
They go up in price.
Well, I know he didn't eat asparagus today, so this is fine. I can roll with this.
And I like asparagus, but I know how bad that is.
Asparagus is good.
And that asparagus, like, you eat one stalk, and like 10 seconds later you go pee, it's already there. It already sets in. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know how anything... The sensor for, like, your stomach to tell your brain that you're full takes 30 minutes, but, man, asparagus is just, bam, right to your piss.
Tony, let us know. Why does asparagus make our piss smell immediately?
Immediately. Not that it makes it smell.
Because you're
right. It makes
right.
it smell so quickly.
Yeah, it's quick.
But Tony, use people words, not science words, please.
Yeah.
I don't understand your big science words all the time.
When did you start calling me Tyler instead of Tyrone?
When did I start calling you Tyler instead of Tyrone?
Because I feel like that's relatively recent.
It's the first interview question.
Yeah. Hard-hitting questions.
Probably when
Frost v. Nixon shit going on right here.
Probably when I saw you at John Turley's wedding.
Okay.
Which was the first time I had seen you in like 3 years.
Yeah.
And I think I just the idea that you weren't a black guy kind of set in.
Wait,
I mean, ruined
what?
my night.
What?
I mean, deep
I am
down, we all
done.
know that you're a black kid from Brooklyn.
Dave's been telling everybody, like, no, I have a black friend, and showing pictures of me and him together.
Look. I can say all these things. I'm not racist. I have a black friend. Look.
Nothing ever good comes out of like when you say I'm not racist, and then it's just that ...
Except for jokes, I found.
Yeah.
Except for
Right.
jokes.
No, I don't know. I guess I hadn't seen you in a few years, and I was like, well, his name's Tyler, and Meg calls him Tyler, unless she's mad.
She goes back and forth. Usually, if Jacob's around to get that ball rolling, then everybody else will do it because that's still exclusively what Jacob calls me.
I won't.
Yeah, I know, and you know what? That also is the other thing is like but it doesn't throw me off that he calls you Tyrone. So it's like that's sort of his. It's sort of almost like a pet name. So I'm like,
yeah, he's the one who started it.
Yeah, I was like, that's Jacob's. Jacob should have it, because that's kind of special to him. And I don't know. I mean, I'll call you Tyrone, but you don't. Honestly, you've never seemed like a Tyrone to me because I can say Tyler, and it sounds more appropriate to you than Tyrone.
That's true. Tyler.
You just seem more like a taller to me.
Tyler.
So I don't know. It just wore off, I guess. And I know a lot of Tylers, so it's like, oh yeah, he's a Tyler. So,
All right, so Ramon.
Yes.
What is to you? What is the definition of a gamer?
I think have you asked me this question a long time ago on air?
Well, this is what I always ask first in interviews.
A gamer has it's not a strict definition, right? But I guess the easiest way.
Well, to Josh is a strict definition.
Okay. Well,
Josh just says if you play Call of Duty and stuff, then you're not a gamer. Anything else is pretty much fine. You're a gamer.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if you enjoy that, right, and you enjoy it not to the detriment of other people, if you legitimately enjoy Call of Duty, but you don't talk shit about other stuff, and you call yourself a gamer, then you're a gamer. So that's my thing. Is if you play games to have fun, right? You find actual enjoyment out of them, but you don't do it to disparage other people, then you're a gamer. And it doesn't matter what it is. If your game is Candy Crush, if your game is Call of Duty, if your game is Final Fantasy, if your game is board games or tabletop games or anything like that, is if it's something that you do and it makes you happy, then you're a gamer.
How much
Plain and simple.
How much homophobia have you found on Candy Crush? Because there's a lot on Call of Duty.
Not as
Getting
not
on
as
Candy
much.
Crush chat and just have those 8-year-olds.
It's actually mostly 30-year-old women, so not much at all. I was addicted to Candy Crush for about 3 weeks straight when I was traveling a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, me too.
Really?
Me too.
Did either you guys spend any money on it?
No. I think I annoyed about 10 people though.
Oh,
I was like, I need lives.
I didn't spend any of my money on it.
count it.
Ooh. Was it around? You know what? I'm not gonna bring that up. Whose money you spent on it? But no, I did not spend any money.
Same
on
person
it.
whose money I usually always spend on things like that. So
Mine.
my mother's.
I was gonna say, do you still have a credit card from your parents that you?
No,
that you
my
just
cell phone
remember that?
plan still goes through her. So
Oh,
yeah.
let's stay on that shit.
So like the exactly. So the $3 I spent right out of her pocket.
No, I have Google Rewards now, so I probably get about $2 a week off of that I can spend on games. So like strictly for that. But yeah, whatever you play, homophobia notwithstanding, I suppose. But
Like the Chick-fil-A advert game.
if you love it and that's specifically what you play to have fun, then yeah, you're a gamer. I mean, a very specific kind of gamer, but yeah.
So then I suppose the next question being, are you a gamer then?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. But that's the thing I'm most committed to, right? So among other hobbies, like one of my best friends that I have worked with up until recently for like the past 3 years, Russ, he is the king of vinyl, right? And he's got the best hi-fi system I've ever heard.
I think you mean vinyl.
That's how we say it because it sounds cooler.
Oh, right.
Vinyl.
Yeah, vinyl. He has the best vinyl collection of anyone I've ever met. And I agreed with him. I was like, yeah, everything does sound better on vinyl. But when I was explaining to him, I was like, but I don't have the money or time or years, like previous years of my life to recommit to a new hobby. It's
Sure.
like I chose a path. It was going to be like sports, nah. Music, maybe. Gaming, yeah. And that's where I've dumped like most of my commitment to. But I'm a huge gamer across the board. It doesn't really matter what it is. I'll try it. I don't like all games, but I will pretty much try any game once, no matter the format. So,
What are your preferred genres of games then? What are like your 3 favorite genres of game? We'll start broad.
we're talking. So for TADPOG, are we talking video games or just gaming in general?
Anything really, gaming in general.
Well, role-playing games, I think is number one. I think that's probably number one for you guys as well, because it's how we met.
Tabletop specifically, or
No, I would say either like JRPG or Western RPG or tabletop. I love role-playing games. Survival horror is a definite number 2. That's a solid number 2. And any combination of those two, right? Third is action, like Devil May Cry, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, all those basically like where you have to be sort of pixel perfect. I think I have a unique skill in gaming. I'm pretty good. I have pretty good Twitch skills. But I'm not good at other games. I'm not good at sports games. I barely understand football as it is, let alone how to relate that to a controller.
yeah,
It's like
We can't figure it out either.
Yeah. A bunch of my friends in high school loved wrestling games, and I would play them with them, and I loved character creation. But once we got in the ring, I was like, I'm always losing. I'm normally so good at this.
I promise I'm good at video games, guys.
Yeah, even though this is the only shitty video game we always play.
I've been there before, going over to like family's house or something. It's like, Yeah, let's play some. Oh shit! All you have are sports games.
Yeah.
Never mind.
It's like
But you got-
Madden.
I know you have Super Mario around here somewhere. It came with the system. Where is it?
Yeah, but it's that friend where it's like once it's your turn to pick the game, they're like, I'm done playing.
Yeah.
Right? They get up and walk off.
Well, I'm gonna stay here and play your Nintendo.
I was totally that friend too.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
totally just bogart their system. Like my parents don't even know where I'm at right now. So I'll stay.
That's a thing you always want to hear a kid say.
Well, it's like that one time when I was at Brady Gatsby's house and friends of my parents, so they called the cops, had them out searching for me. And I said, we can watch the Men in the Iron Mask. They have no idea where I am. Your mom checked me out of school, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's cool.
So go ahead. I have said it and butchered it many times. So what is your full name?
My full name is Ramon Federico Castillo III. So Ramon Federico Castillo III. But generally, it's just Ramon because I know that I have a difficult name to say. But people butcher my middle name quite often because it is Federico. But I do get Frederico a lot since it is the Hispanic version of Frederick.
Mm-hmm. That's usually how I say it.
Yeah, Federico. Yeah, it's Fede, so it's Fede. Kind of like fettuccine.
I'll just say
Okay.
that. I'll just say that. It's fine.
New name.
Ramon
Ramon
Federico.
Ramon Fettuccine Castillo. Ramon Fettuccine Castillo Alfredo III.
We have to say your middle name like really racist though, like really Italian racist.
Ramon Fettuccine.
Exactly. Perfect. I mean, I do love fake Italian accents. I mean, I love accents. Let's be honest.
The first time,
even though
Kenna
like
ever-
half of mine are terrible, I do them anyway.
the first time we ever had Kenna laugh out loud was a really racist Italian accent, bro, out of Meg's
Oh, of
mouth,
course.
not mine.
Because it sounds preposterous. No one should sound like that.
They probably don't,
Except Mario.
except for Mario, which isn't a real person. So
Well, and my buddy Danilo Del Vecchio. Actually,
Shit.
yeah,
Wow. Okay.
he sounds like he's fake Italian. He's awesome.
It sounds like he may be.
I make fun of him all the time. But we just greet each other with like, the spaghetti, and that's the that's the traditional greeting when you're seeing Danilo, and he's like, spaghetti, but he actually flips you off at the same time. But yeah, he's a funny guy because he knows how to roll with the punches.
he
And he
takes
can beat the
spaghetti
shit
out of his
me.
pocket and throws it at you.
Yeah. Oh, that would be awesome. I would probably die right there.
That's your
But
weakness.
I understand. I think Lord Micah Purdue actually wanted to know how my actual name was pronounced. He asked me the other day. So yeah, there you go.
And what do you do for a living?
So I am on the national IT training team for Samsung Electronics America. So
think I've heard of them.
train. Yeah, so I train for one of the biggest electronics companies in the entire world. So I stay pretty busy. We're always coming out with new stuff. We make everything. If you've got a piece of electronics in your room, we make it, or at least some part of it. It's good. Like I said, they're sending me to BlizzCon. I go to CES every year. I get a lot of travel miles. Got one of my Dragon Con hotel rooms is free because I had hotel points. So, there's definitely some good benefits. I have more tablets in my closet than I know what to do with.
I really like the SSD hard drives you make.
The SSD, you mean the solid state drives?
Yes. I love
Do you
those.
have one?
Yes, I do. It's great. And I've always bought Samsung optical drives. They're my favorite. Like CD drives, DVD drives, DVDRs, they've all been Samsung.
Yeah, so we're good at that. We're good at Thank you for that plug.
Do you make other things though?
Well, they make the cell phone I'll have for the rest of my life. The
Right.
Samsung Galaxy Note line.
All right, give us our sponsorship money. we did a plug. We need the money.
You need that Samsung Medium bucks.
Yes, we do. We can cash those in for USD, right?
No, it's just in Korean.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll take it.
Yeah, you just got to go suffer through the yellow dust, and you can cash it in. But yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good life. Busy. I'm really busy, at least lately. But it comes and goes. Like I'm not busy for the holidays, which is nice. And then come January, it's like I'm everywhere on the internet. Like I just saw today that somebody posted that they found me again
I saw that. Yeah.
on Best Buy's website, and like because I record that stuff like 3 months in advance or 6 months in advance sometimes, and they'll be like, I just saw you, and like I shot that so long ago. That's cool.
So do you have any siblings?
I do. I am the oldest, middle, youngest, only sibling. So I have no full siblings because my dad is Ash Ketchum. He's gotta catch them all. So I have an older half brother who is 13 years older than me, Jason. And Dave, you actually know Jason.
I do, yeah.
And I have a younger adopted sister, Rachel, which I think both of you have met. And then I have a youngest who would now be she's 14. She's 16 years younger than me. I have a youngest half sister, Grace, and then probably some other siblings out there somewhere. None of us really look alike. My brother and I sound a lot alike. I'm pretty close to my brother, and that's probably about it. I don't talk to Rachel much because she spends a lot of time overseas, and then Grace and I are so far in age apart that there's not much there.
I really only know your sisters from when we would play D&D at your dad's house, and then like I'd see them for 2 seconds as they ran through the kitchen.
Right. Like just so they knew that we knew that they were there.
Exactly. That's totally what it seemed like.
Yeah, you're for real. We only played at my dad's house like twice, right, before we got kicked out permanently.
Yeah, it wasn't too many times. What was that? What happened? Why did we get kicked out permanently? Do you know? It was my fault, right? Oh, okay, good.
Well, Ramon he's in the same club as myself, Dave, and Josh Nance, which are the Difficult Dads Club. We're all card-carrying members of the Difficult Dads Club. Unless
you're listening, I love you, Daddy.
Even if my dad's listening, you know it was growing up. It was something. I've told you stories and you're ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, Dad, I'm sure there's some sort of metaphor here that I could lay out for you. But in the end, I love you. But yeah, you were kind of a handful my entire life, pretty much.
Your mom's super sweet. I met your mom once.
That?
Your mom's super sweet.
Which one?
Your biological one.
Oh, yeah.
I met her once when she came to the house and we lived together.
My mom is super sweet, which is probably why it didn't work out between them.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She still brings up every single time I talk to her about Link. Is he still stealing your socks? No, Mom, he's not still stealing my socks. He did that once. Are you sure? Yeah, we were living in the same dorm room. Yeah, I'm sure. Okay. You tell him not to steal your socks. Mom, I'm married. Link does not live with me anymore.
He drives down from Wisconsin, steals your socks, and then flees in the night. He is the sneak king.
Mom, I don't even know what he did with those socks. I definitely don't want them back.
Yeah, that's true.
So did your siblings have any effect on you as a gamer?
My brother did. My brother is probably the biggest influence on gaming that I've had. We first got a Nintendo when I think I was like 4 or 5, and we lived in Hawaii, where I was born. And we got the Nintendo, and we got Mega Man 2. Was the first game I ever played. I should have put platformer on there too, but that probably goes into action. It's probably a solid 4th. So I have a good place in my heart for Mega Man games. So it was the first game we played together. We also obviously had Super Mario Duck Hunt combo. So that started when I was 4. When I was 6, he told me the truth of why he did it, but he built me a computer so that we could play games together, like Doom and like the Sierra games, the point and click adventure games like King's Quest and all that stuff. And then also so we could play StarCraft and Command and Conquer. What I didn't know now, he actually just told me like a couple months ago. He built it for me because I wouldn't stop messing with his computer. Like I was constantly getting on his computer and asking him to play games. I don't remember that. But so eventually he just built me one. He's like basically I just got the shittiest parts I had and bought like the cheapest other parts I had and built you a computer. And he's like, and it worked for you. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I love that computer. And so I started actually hardcore gaming when I was 6 on PC, and sort of just never looked back from there. So I was like almost always have been PC Master Race. It wasn't until I got to I got a Super Nintendo, and that was like basically my last major console system until I got to high school. And then other people were like, "This PlayStation thing's awesome," and I was like, "Oh, I got a PC, guys." And they're like, "Nerd." I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess I'll get a PlayStation."
Yeah, because back then, like, yeah, PC gamers were a very different breed from console gamers. I feel like now that divide is a lot smaller than it used to be.
Yeah, there's a lot more crossover than it used to be.
Yeah, to the point where it's like you're just gonna be playing the same game, just better, like on
Or
a PC.
worse.
Or worse. Yeah.
Because
Batman.
like Arkham, yeah. No. Your computer makes it look too good. Make it look not so good. It'll be better.
Yeah,
Trust us.
We want more console sales. But yeah, I've been a gamer for a long time. And then I think I started tabletop gaming also with my brother when I was about 7 or 8. Started playing GURPS and D&D Advanced and Shadowrun and Cyberpunk. I have played so much Shadowrun as a kid that it's actually one of my favorite games, but nobody ever plays it.
See, I recently bought all the most recent edition of the Shadowrun books because I'm wanting to do some Shadowrun stuff after playing the Steam games for TADPOG got me.
It's a cool setting.
The world, yeah.
It's a cool setting. It's rules heavy.
Oh God, I'm listening to podcasts just to try to get a grasp on it because it's so. I mean, as you would expect, a futuristic game has to be fucking dense with all the things that you can do.
Yeah, I wish, and there are things to be said about the D20 system, right? Like sometimes being too simplistic, but I do wish that there was a D20 version of Shadowrun. That's like the one setting I wish there was, like, because they had Urban Arcana, right? Which was sort of Wizard's way of handling that. But yeah, one of my favorite settings and has so much like lore. And like the mega corporations are awesome. The dragons are awesome. The mixing of magic and technology are awesome. And it's like the one sort of cyberpunk setting that you can get girls to play. You're like, no, but it has elves, and they're like, oh, okay. Because you tell them about cyberpunk, and they're like, that sounds dumb. I'm not playing that. Ew. Right? But Shadowrun is you can totally get them to play, which is pretty cool.
Are you familiar with Savage Worlds? Have you played anything in Savage Worlds?
I've read quite a bit about it. He who shall not be named messages me quite a bit about it.
Yeah.
About possibly playing or joining a game, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know that much about it, and
let me know if anybody else is doing one. Then maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you were not DMing, I might consider it, but you're probably going to kill me in the first 2 sessions anyway.
It's a pretty cool system. I'm just curious because I know that I don't know. I think there's a Shadowrun conversion, which is because Savage Worlds is super rules light. So
right.
I haven't personally read it, but if they've managed to actually convert it, that's a huge feat.
Well, and it has cards too, which I love.
Yes.
Love cards. I love the ability to just hand things to people. Like, here you go.
It's cool to like keep track of things.
Yeah.
Like I mean, that's one role that cards have in games. And that's actually what I like the most is Tyler would do that in his Pathfinder game, like because he had all the buff and condition cards, which is really nice because if someone gets a buff, that's like a really easy thing to forget in any role-playing game. It's easy to forget that you have a +2 by the time your turn comes around, and then you do the things on your turn, and the person who gave you the buff is like, "Did you add +2?" No, I didn't. I forgot.
And it's 2 turns later, and you're like, "I would have hit him."
Right, exactly, twice.
Yeah. And well, I mean, when we were playing in Tyler's game when we got to epic levels, that's all it seemed like. I mean, especially for you and me, because we were spellcasters, so it was like, "Hey, did you remember well, what about Dave? Well, what about the thing you cast?" And like, it was
Did you
like
multicasting 6 times. Yeah, so I cast 6 different buffs. What level are we? 60. That's ludicrous, isn't it? Yeah, it is. This shouldn't be happening.
So
I wasn't arguing.
no. Yeah, if Tyler was just like, I just kept going. I was like, okay, I hope somebody's keeping track of this somewhere because I'm sure lost. Because the moment I got giant size, it was over.
Oh fuck, that fucking
Like,
spell.
Yeah, like I was just like, I don't know why I never cast this spell before. I was like, oh, that's right, it's not on my class list. I had to be a level 100 cleric to get this. Oh man.
So what are your? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask you what your top 5 series are fine. What are your top 5 games?
Oh, top 5 games.
Video games.
Yeah, because you can't put the tabletop games in that. Top 5 in no particular order.
No particular order.
Okay, Final Fantasy IV, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI, Resident Evil 2, and it's hard to narrow down a 5th one. Oh, Final Fantasy. No more Final Fantasies.
Square agrees.
Right. Yeah, I already got 3 Square games on there. I'm trying to think.
Earthbound, it's fine. It's fine. We'll roll with it.
Tyler. Symphony of the Night.
That's a good
All right,
one.
those are all
Solid,
great
solid.
games. I like your list.
So you had mentioned like survival horror being one of your favorite genres. How much of a purist are you when it comes to survival horror games?
Like if it diverges too much into action?
Yeah.
Well, I like action games too. So I don't know if I got so mad about Resident Evil 5 and 6 as everybody else did, because I do have the sort of mindset that if it's still kind of a fun game, it doesn't really matter. Like sometimes you go to see a movie and you've got expectations, like you go to see like a name brand, like you go to see Transformers, right? And a lot of the Transformers movies, from a Transformers standpoint, pretty disappointing, right? At least that's my opinion. But from like an action movie standpoint, they weren't bad. Like they were worth the price of admission. I had a good time. I laughed a couple times. I got some popcorn, right? So it's like when 5 and 6 kind of derailed, I was just like, okay, I guess fuck it, we're doing this. And I also played both of those all the way through with Link, though. So it was like it was a completely different experience because like he had moved away, right? And so that was kind of our way of like spending time together. So I actually have really fond memories of 5 and 6, despite them kind of derailing. I think that they're sort of getting back to the roots now. And I do think from a survival horror standpoint that Resident Evil 2 started it, or Resident Evil started it. But I think Silent Hill is better at that still.
I need to say, I watched you and one of my favorite gaming experiences play through 3. I still have great memories of 3, but other than that, I've never sat down and really played a Silent Hill, and I need to.
They're hard to play alone, and I'm a horror guy, and like I said, same thing about the drunk thing is I'm not competitive and I'm not a tough guy, so I'll fully admit that yes, I can get drunk, and yes, I get really freaking scared. But that feeling of the tension and the jump and then the coming down from that is a really good human experience, right? Mm-hmm. Like, because it lets you relax. Like some people are like, how can you relax? It's like, because I never have to experience this stuff in real life. It's like I'm stressed out in real life. If I run through, like, if I have to run down a hallway running from a monster and slam a door and then finally get some like sort of like calm release after that, I usually feel kind of good. So I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
Hey, this made me think of something that I always relate to you, Ramon. You know those videos where they show like calm scenes and landscapes and there's beautiful, peaceful music.
You,
And then about like 30 seconds in, this like decomposed face pops on the screen and goes, ah! I always think of you.
How do you remember that?
Because I talk about
awesome.
it. Because you can even just like insinuate that kind of thing and you'd freak the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can see me on camera right now. I don't even... Oh.
That's the first time you ever raged through something at me was on one of like those videos.
Yeah, and I know they're coming. And I still I don't even like looking at the regular Serene pictures anymore.
Because you're like you get anxious waiting for the thing to pop out.
No, like even in real life, like a postcard like this, like of like Kansas, and it says "Wish you were here." Like I'm like, fuck, when is the thing gonna jump out? And well, and that's like I said, I don't know if I mentioned it. We might have been before we started. I'm playing Until Dawn with my wife, which is fantastic. Basically, the same way Tyler mentioned as being, the best memories of a lot of games are playing them together, and it is so fucking jump scary. It's not even funny. Like, and they don't always get me, and they don't always get her, but when they do, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's like real fucking bad, and I won't spoil it, but there is one time you just completely don't expect it, and they break the fourth wall, and I looked at her and she looked at me, and we literally screamed the exact same way, like an angry, like I'm gonna punch this game for doing this, and then we both laughed because they're like, did that really just happen? And she's like, yeah, that was pretty cool. And I was like, that's not what I was thinking, but I guess it's pretty cool.
Well, I have to seem like a man now. Yeah,
yeah.
Cool stuff.
I gotta be tough around you. But yeah, that's a really good game. And I like being scared. I'll even be a little hesitant to do it, right? But in the end, it's that willpower thing. It's just like I'm okay. Because in the end, I mean, it's not real, obviously. The only thing that truly scares me in real life, one, are those fucking jump out things, but two, heights. Obviously,
right. We talked about that
because Blake had asked when you're on the Facebook chat. He's like, so what's everybody's greatest fears? And you were like, I don't even know. I don't know where to start or where it begins, man. I don't fucking know, man.
I mean, everybody's afraid of a lot of things. It's your ability to overcome them, right? Is the deal. And I'll fully admit I'm afraid of a lot of things because I overthink everything. I'm the thinker. So I always think of what's the worst possible scenario, and then I just go with that. But yeah, I mean, you just got to get through it. That's the thing. Yeah, Blake was being super serious. He's like, well, I think it's just like leaving my kid and my wife behind. And I was like, fuck, why am I even in this chat?
Don't let him trick you. That's what he always says. He heard it somewhere. He doesn't give a shit.
Like Breaking Bad or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Blake's afraid of Dave beating him in fantasy football again this year. That's probably about it.
And that's not going to happen. Because I went out of my way to make sure I would not win this one. Because I feel like Blake actually likes me less as a person because I lucked my way through Final Fantasy Football League victory. Yeah. Like, I literally think he thinks less of me now.
Well, that's how competitive he is. Yeah, he probably does.
Well, I gathered that from talking to him on the group that he's very competitive.
Oh, and overly so.
He's so competitive. I think he's mad that I said that I wasn't competitive. Like why? What the fuck is wrong with you? I was like, I don't know. So it's like it unvalidates him being competitive because I am not. And I was like, oh, sorry, bud. Yeah, I'm like low level competitive. Like, yeah, go get him, guys. But I'm not. I've been a DM for too long to be competitive. I'm incredibly unlucky when it comes to that sort of stuff. Some things I'm really lucky at, but not. I'm never lucky when it matters. Like if I'm a PC or if I'm rolling in a game, if I'm playing Monopoly, I'm super unlucky. Now if I'm trying to kill a player, really really lucky. But that's probably a form of unluck because I shouldn't be trying to kill players.
It's manifesting itself.
Yeah, I'm just like, you're gonna pay for this later, and I'm like, I don't care. He's ruining the story.
I don't know how to segue into this, but I've got a question for you that we don't normally ask on interviews.
Sure.
Tyler's asked for your top 5 favorite video games. I know you like board games, and I also like board games, and TADPOG's done a board game episode, so I want to ask you what your top 5 board games are.
Ooh, yeah, that's good. I actually that was one of my favorite episodes was when you had the Ammonses on. I feel like we're going to bond a lot over that in Atlanta. Okay, so my top 5 in no particular order are Kill Dr. Lucky,
I haven't played that one.
Would you like me to bring it?
Sure. They might not have it at Dragon. They have a lot of games at Dragon Con, but they might not. Who knows what they're gonna have?
It's like Clue before Clue happened.
Okay.
So you're in a mansion trying to kill someone, who is incredibly lucky.
Okay.
Hence the name. But there's certain rules, like you can't be caught doing it, so you can't have line of sight to another character.
Yeah, I have heard of this game. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'll bring it. Because I'm gonna pack a bag so I can bring stuff back.
Okay.
So I will leave a little space for that.
Cool.
You introduced me to one of my favorite games of all time, which is Ticket to Ride.
Oh, I love Ticket to Ride. Yeah.
I love King of Tokyo.
I've seen that. I haven't played it.
It's an awesome game. It's an easy game. It is sort of luck based, but it's press your luck.
Yeah.
So you get 3 chances to get your roll that you want, which is a little bit better for me, and it's really quick. But it's a giant kaiju monster game. Betrayal at House on the Hill.
Yes, that's a house favorite.
Yeah, love Betrayal, and that's the one a lot of us started on.
And that ties into your love of survival horror too.
Correct, which is why I also have Zombicide. Zombicide I like a lot, but we don't play it enough for me to say it's my favorite, because I like games that other people will play with me.
What's the deal with Zombicide? I haven't played that one. I played Zombies with 3 exclamation points, but not Zombicide.
Zombicide is a great survival horror game where you have to like collect things and make it like you have a different scenario every time. Like you have to board up a building and survive for 10 rounds, or you have to collect gasoline and the car keys and the spare tire and then ride out of town, stuff like that. It's a very cool game.
It sounds cool.
It takes a lot of setup and it takes a long time to play though.
Like, is the setup all like setting up the town kind of deal, or
setting up the town, all the miniatures, all the tokens, which I don't mind doing, obviously.
Sure.
But the game can take, depending on what scenario you're doing, it takes about 30 minutes per player to play. So if you're doing a 4-player game, you can be upwards of 2 hours.
Okay.
So that's not on the list. I do love it. Small World.
Oh, I love Small World. I didn't at first until I figured out how to play it properly.
Oh my god, yeah.
And then once I did, I was like, because I played it at last Dragon Con and was like, I had no idea how to play, and I am competitive, and I can have fun when I'm losing something, but not when I feel like I'm utterly failing. And that's how I felt every time I was playing Small World. It was just like, I don't get the things. I don't know how this works.
Well, that's like me and Catan. So everybody loves Catan, but if it got striked from the universe, I would be okay. But Sheriff of Nottingham.
I've heard really good things about that. I haven't played it.
It's a bluffing game. So the reason I like Small World is that there's no luck element whatsoever. So it's one of those games where I have a pretty good chance of winning.
There's a little bit when you try to take over.
When you call for reinforcements.
But you can really play the odds there to the point where you can almost nullify a lot of the luck.
Yeah, I think it's like a 80-20. It's like an 80 strategy, 20 luck.
I think that sounds about right.
And Sheriff of Nottingham has neither luck nor... I mean, it has strategy, but it's all about your ability to bluff and tell when other people's are bluffing.
I really want to play that game.
I have it.
Can you bring that game?
It's smaller than Kill Dr. Lucky, and they'll probably have Kill Dr. Lucky there. It's only a 5-person game, but I'll bring it.
This is very, very, I'm sure, entertaining to everybody listening, but it's super important to me that you bring Sheriff Nottingham.
I will bring
Dragon Con.
I'll bring it to Dragon Con, and as long as other people are okay with watching, because I'm sure there's going to be 20 people in the room, right?
Usually we have about 5 people playing. I mean, because it's like Airline Euro, I think is a 6-player game. So we usually don't have many.
Like you, Wiley, Laura will always want to play.
Yeah,
I will play if I'm needed to. Jacob likes to play. So
okay. Well, there's going to be multiple. This will be after, right? I'm not going to bring it to the con. We'll bring it and play it in your guys' room after the show. Right.
I mean, we're at the con. I mean, the hotel's at the con.
Yeah.
So yeah, just whatever. I mean, sometimes we play games up in the room. You don't have to bring it down on the floor or anything. No.
Well, that's what I mean. We'll play it up in the room. I don't want to play it with the pubs.
The randos. I get it.
The randos. Yeah. So yeah, those would be the 5. So yeah, Ticket to Ride, Betrayal at House on the Hill, King of Tokyo, Kill Dr. Lucky, and Sheriff of Nottingham. As of right now, of what I own.
Awesome.
So speaking of all that, when did you lose your virginity?
Jeez, when I was 17. Well, if you're talking, full on.
Penis and vagina, not like some dude's ass. Penis and vagina.
Yeah, when I was 17.
Okay. You're happy with this experience? Is there a story behind this experience?
Not one that I'm going to tell. But,
okay.
Yeah, there's some stuff that I still want to preserve. But yes, I am very happy with this experience. Before that time, there was some on and off times with some other ladies who shall go unnamed. But there was a dark age.
The ladies of Blur Gerb.
Yeah, the Blur Gerb era. Those were dark times. The 4 years of on again, off again, crazy. Yeah, I think you know one of those. Like you've had one of those on again, off again crazies.
Yeah. You betcha.
Oh yeah. But you know what? That made me who I am today. Dealing with crazy for that long, I came out relatively sane. I mean, mostly.
Because I know you had a on again, off again crazy with a girl that I cannot stand now because she totally fucked Meg over in a job. Like fucked Meg over hard. And
there was a group of girls there that sort of followed me, and not intentionally. I actually think one might have actually been intentionally, but that sort of like were part of my past and then came along later that totally
like they followed you geographically or
followed me geographically.
Okay.
Although I think one of them followed me like followed me, and not the one you're talking about, but and then one dude who we all know actually tried to hit on me about 7 times before I actually had to.
I think I know who it is, and I got that as well.
Yeah.
Expecting it from he who shall not be named, but it's a different guy.
I'm completely confused.
No, and I know who you're talking about, and I knew him very well.
Ramon, you promised you wouldn't tell anybody about this. You promised, and you're doing it on our very own show.
Sorry, Dave. I do remember the time that my wife thought you were me for about 2 seconds back when we were dating at the old apartment in Murray.
Back when you and I were dating?
No. Yeah, when you and I were but I remember distinctly. It's like you were sitting on our bed looking at my computer away from where someone could see your face, and you were sitting in a way looking at my computer in a very way that I did, wearing a regular just like plain t-shirt,
just naked. I remember, like we are.
Yeah, just naked. And I remember she went up to like give you a shoulder rub, and you went like, "Hey!" and you both had this like happy to see you, and then super surprised, and then like it's cool, and then I walked in right then and didn't know what happened. I was like, "What up?"
The best thing about that is, both of you guys know I super love to be touched.
Right.
I don't even know if I've touched either of you in my life.
See,
yeah. I mean, yeah, you have many times.
I remember, Ramon, you came over, like you and JD had you been dating a few months, but you come over and you were staying. I think the dorms had closed. So you were staying the night at mine and Jacob's apartment.
Right.
And we all do this thing. You always do with your male friends where you like
you touch
each other, pretend like you're gay and you're into it, or like you're humping each other or
just
blowing
for
each other,
goofs.
just like dudes doing goofs, So I'm laying in bed and you go up and you spoon me, and then there's like a 5-second beat before you're like, man, your ass is so much smaller than JD's. I was like, all right, how about yeah? All right.
You're like, how you doing?
I can roll with that. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is I've pretty much always been comfortable with those kinds of jokes and everything. I've known people who definitely weren't and have definitely turned out that there was reasons why. So it is what it is,
I also remember very clearly, like, because I had basically the computer in my room in that apartment was like the porn computer. And like people, if you didn't have anywhere else to jerk off, you can just go in my room, shut the door, and use the computer and jerk off.
Pornutron.
Whatever. Yeah. I remember we were watching like E-Bombs World and other videos, and I pull up, like I'm clicking on files, and I click on one of my saved porn files. And it is a short clip of, and I know their names, I'm still fans of them today. And this was like in 2002 or 2003. But it was Awa Sonnet and Inez Kudna from Busty Polish, I think it's what it's called. And they
Busty
are
PL.
Busty PL, and they are putting on their makeup.
Busty Polish.
Yeah, Busty Polish. They're putting on their makeup and stuff and getting ready, and they're topless. And they have like enormous, fantastic breasts. I remember like I'm clicking on that video, and I click on that and open it up, let it play for a few seconds. Like I go to move it, and he's like, "You put your hand on my shoulder," and it's like, "No, no, no, no." And you have to finish watching the video, and you're like, "Please get that video to me."
Yeah.
I'm really gonna need that video.
Because
you have a fetish for like ridiculously large breasts.
Oh, oof, yeah. I mean,
So much so, I feel like JD jumped on board. Was like, "Yeah, huge titties are awesome."
she does. She likes. She'll point them out to me, and that's the cool thing. Just about everything about my wife, obviously, but is she will see like a hot chick on a movie, and she'll do one of two things. She's like, she could play one of my characters, or she'll be like, "Wow, look at that rack," and I might not even be paying attention, and she's a good enough wife to point it out to me. And I'll look up and I'll be like, "Well, I know this isn't a test of our marriage," so I'll look up and I'll be like, "Man, whew, those are nice." And I was like, "Can we put those on the list?" And she's like, "Well, your list is pretty full." And I was like, "Well, can I take somebody off the list?" She goes, "Well, yeah, I suppose you could. One or two of those are getting pretty old." And I was like, "Yeah, that's true." And then we'll start talking about our list for like 20 minutes.
Who would you like to wash your car? Here's my top 5.
Who's your top 5? But man, yeah, those. I don't know what they're feeding them in Poland, but damn.
Yeah, for real. But
yeah,
Katarina Harlova, Ava Sonnet. Yeah.
These names are not familiar to me. I feel like I've missed out.
The one with the Czech girl that has the weird face.
You're thinking of me. Thinking of me.
Oh, no, the girl that we talked about that has the one expression.
Yeah, she has like dead face.
Yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah.
That's not me.
She's sort of one of those too. Yeah. Anna Swan /Song.
Yeah. Anna Song. Oh, I was a member of her subreddit for a while.
Yeah, I'm not a member of any of those. But I'm aware of their existence.
Well, most of them will probably be in the show notes. We'll just have like the show notes will just be a bunch of like subreddits for large-breasted women.
I mean, I'm not going to erase all your stuff because I've got a lot here that I worked really hard on. But I will say, let's do it.
For Majora's Mask, that's all it'll be. Paul's
fine.
link for his video, and then just busty subreddits.
That's fine because I have very few things to say about Majora's Mask. It's going to be painful. It's 2 episodes long.
It doesn't need to be. I mean,
I thought it did. I thought it did. Now I'm not so sure because by the time this publishes, we'll already have done part 1 of Majora's Mask. So I feel like I can say this. But
hope you guys like that.
Before we recorded Majora's Mask, I was like, well, it definitely needs to be 2 episodes because I can't finish the game in just 1 week. And now I don't want to finish the game.
Yeah, so is it because it's Fetch Quest, the game?
Well, of course you know because you listened to Wednesday's episode.
I'm sure I did.
That's coming out in the future for us.
Right.
There's a lot of different reasons. I want to save it. I'm going to save it for that particular episode.
Okay.
But there's a lot of different reasons. And who knows? I am going to keep playing it, but who knows? It might magically flip-flop.
Not get played.
Right.
I want to finish it at least for my Zelda's challenge. This is the best shot I'm going to have at doing it. So
I'm pretty.
I rushed through it this time because I was going to be home in like a day, and I was like, okay, I have basically 2 hours the night before my flight home, and I have 2 hours on the flight, so I basically have 4 hours to finish it. So I finished Stone Tower and then rushed straight to the town. And did the final boss, but without all the bells and whistles that I did the first time.
Yeah, there's no way I'm getting all the masks. No fucking way.
No, and I did it before, and like I said, I think it's that I told Tyler about this. I think it's my nostalgia glasses were on pretty hard when I first started playing the game again, and then when I got past the water temple, I was like, "Fuck this game."
I mean, I don't want to talk too much about it, but like, it's got some really cool concepts that I love.
Yeah.
That I've fallen in love with a lot of the things in the game. It's just the playing of the game that I'm having a problem with, because it's all right. I'm done. I gotta save some.
No, you're fine. I think it has a great story. I actually really like the story of the game, which is what I played it for. So I didn't do a lot of the side stuff. So I still think it has a great story too. So it isn't all bad. It's kind of mixed from me. So there you go.
We can bring it back. I'll bring it to something real.
Okay.
For a moment. Let's see, Ramon, we met in we were 18, Murray State, 2002, where Jacob.
You were 18. I was 17.
You were 17. Yeah, because we're like 3 months apart, something like that. Yeah, I turned 18 the month before college started.
Yeah, and I turned 18 in November.
And then because Jacob brought you in basically, so you guys got along in the theater department, so he brought you over to Smash and stuff like that, and then
we knew each other, and I knew Jay Brent.
And you introduced D&D to everybody, and everybody slowly jumped on, and it spread from there. And then the next semester, most of us failed out of school. But
you're welcome.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm the vector. I'm the patient zero of 20 people failing college.
So I've gotten more at D&D than I have psychology. It's fine.
Yeah, but I don't. Honestly, I don't regret that. Because obviously it means a lot to a lot of people, and I don't think we'd have as great memories of Econ as we do of Vampire Be Gone. So
yeah, and
fucking blue pants.
That was her. She fucked up your last boss was just like. But I know them feels real strong.
I told her I'm told her next time I'm in Orlando I'm burning her city to the ground because she brought it up. She's like, remember that time I killed your last boss? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm here now. I wish it wasn't raining so hard.
How'd she do it?
She kept hoarding items for the entire game that were incredibly powerful against undead, and it was in the time back when I was sort of still a semi-novice DM. And I let a lot of shit just go. Just just that's cool. It wouldn't fly nowadays. It just straight up A plus B does not equal orange sort of deal. But she gathered all these things that were really powerful against undead, and she basically just strapped them all together like a cartoon time bomb, and lugged them at the main boss. And I totally botched the save. And it did a bajillion points of damage.
Plus, she got sneak attack, and she had feats for it. So
yeah, it was the original 400 points of damage.
Yeah,
that we always make fun of Tyler about. 400 points of damage.
That was the
original time that happened.
I feel like Miller started to. Yeah. On his interview or something like that. Miller's brought it up because it happened to him.
One. Yeah.
Well, it was a dragon that did that, right?
Yeah,
prismatic dragon.
A great worm prismatic dragon.
It's one of my favorite gaming memories ever. Just Tyler getting frustrated and
it's like, Miller, quit. I'm just gonna fucking kill him. If he does, I'm killing him.
To be honest, I don't even do that anymore. If I'm gonna kill somebody, I just go, "You get stabbed," and you're like, "For how much?" I'm like, "No, in the heart."
Nope.
You just die. It's like, but what kind of damage? It's like, no. That's not how that works. You got stabbed in the heart. You die. Oh. I'm totally derailed again. You asked me one question and I talk about it for 2 minutes straight.
That's how podcasts work.
Yeah.
You're doing it right.
We're pretty sure.
Okay. Can you show me the instant replay?
Well, no, because then D&D and then we worked together at Huddle House for a while.
We did. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we were best friends basically from 2002 to 2005. Yeah. And then we essentially didn't speak consistently for about 10 years.
Yep.
Until, I guess, 2015, really.
No, a little bit before.
Maybe
not consistently.
Yeah, not really consistently
I think we started talking about 5 years after that, here and there. And then consistently, as TADPOG started.
Because I told the story.
2013.
I told the story about me challenging you to a fight as our avatars in Final Fantasy Online. In that bold moment of masculinity.
I don't even remember that.
I do.
Yeah.
I do, because I was there awkwardly as it happened.
Where it's like Taru Melf standing in front of Red Mage Human Big Pete, just screaming.
Oh, yeah. You know what? And I don't know if you've talked to the listeners about that before, but I mean, what that boils down to is being way too young and too many people being involved in too many people's lives. And, you know, I think you and I have talked about this, obviously. And, you know, I
Not really. We kind of just glossed over it whenever we started gaming together.
No,
That's why I was like, we'll make it real. Let's bring it up now on his interview.
Oh, no, that's fine. No, I remember you and I talked about it when we were at John Turley's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And just briefly, I was like, it was kind of dumb. And you were like, yeah. That was like our guy sort of way of being like, I guess it's over.
It's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it happened, and then like we didn't speak for a while until like there was sort of this amnesty for a little while to play in one of Dave's games.
Right.
Which I could tell you still didn't like me because you worked at World Market at the time. And I remember I went in to buy something, and you were working on a display, and I snuck up behind you, and I tickled you. And you nearly murdered me. I have never seen such a rageful, scary face on a human being as when you turned around to look at me after I did that.
Oh, yeah.
So I quickly was like, oh, what about Dave's D&D game? And your expression then calmed. And I was like, okay, we can talk about this.
Well, that could have been anybody tickling me when I was a supervisor at a store.
Hey, everybody who works here, look at me. I'm going to tickle your boss.
Yeah, so that wasn't just you.
You'll never respect him again. Everyone come see.
Yeah, see, Dave gets it.
That's because Dave gets mad when I tickle him whenever he's working too.
Yeah.
Which is every day.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, there was a long awkward time there, and it wasn't just you and me involved, obviously. There was I would say a good everyone else
Yeah, because
involved.
we weren't mad. Like, it's something that we did to each other. It was just the people in our lives started having arguments, and we got super defensive, and then it just...
Well, I think you and I for the longest time were the sort of, and you and I both have this characteristics is we speak up for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't your or my fight to begin with. Like, and we were just like, okay, these people are never going to speak up for themselves, and we took it upon ourselves to do that. And that's what blew it up. It probably would have blown over had you and I not done anything.
Yeah, started looking for slights and how each other acted toward. Yeah,
and I fully admit that that was dumb, and I was wrong. But that's what happens. You grow up. I actually think that we're a lot better friends now than we were back then, because we sort of know the way each other is. It's like, I know that you're Tyler, and I expect you to be a certain way. So it's like, you know the way I am, and you expect me to be a certain way. But like back then, everybody judged everybody for being the way they were. But now it's just like, no, that's Tyler. I was like, you know what I'm saying?
I can see that.
Yeah. So like you're very like honest all the time, right? And like, and we all know that you can't hold a secret like to save your life. So,
unless someone tells me this is a secret, you need to keep it. Otherwise, yeah, you're told. If someone's just like implying confidence, no, you have to tell me. Once you tell me, then I can lock it away. But you have to put it out there that it's a secret.
Very out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's the thing is, I know that you take care of your friends, and you're honest, and you're an open book, right? And with me, I'm not an open book, but there are certain things that I value. I value loyalty, and I value also being honest and things like that. But we just have different approaches usually about the same thing. I think you're very much more adamant to speak up for your friends, and I'm more adamant to like put their secrets away. Like, okay, that happened, let's not talk about it anymore. But I think you and I both have very similar like things that we want to do. We just go about them different ways. And I get that, like everybody's different. Like I don't have to be the funny guy, like I sometimes feel like I am a funny guy, but I don't have to be the funniest guy in the room. Oftentimes I'm the most serious person in the room, which makes it even funnier when people are trying to make me laugh.
Or when you're tickled.
Or when I'm tickled, right? Because it's hilarious.
But being an open book, I feel I should tell you, I jerked off in your dad's house whenever I stayed the night with you.
Oh, well, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. I didn't figure it would, but I just need to talk about it.
I think that's another unspoken rule. If Tyler's been somewhere, he's probably jerked it.
I've taken a dump and I've jerked it. So
you didn't wipe it on my runner, did you?
You leave me alone for more than 45 minutes, and I've done one of those two things.
Yeah, but seriously, you didn't wipe it on my runner, did you?
No, nope.
Okay.
I know what you did, Ramon.
I was in your living room on your couch.
Oh, right.
It was one of those times like I had to do it, but man, I don't know their patterns. I don't know when they get up. I don't know. This is risky, but I gotta do it. I gotta do it.
See, that's the thing.
You're the real Anne Frank of masturbation. Bringing it back.
And Ramon's dad is like that WarioWare for Wii U game, where it's like the scary mom is like creeping downstairs and then turns the flashlights for eyes.
Yeah. So you were 9-volt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Only I'm up masturbating instead of playing Game Boy.
Let's be honest. My dad's a scary dude. I might not have ever seen you again. Like, he wouldn't have said anything. You just would have been buried in the backyard. I'd be like, what happened? He'd be like, your friend went home. Oh, okay. Don't talk about him ever again.
Don't look for him.
Where's the couch? Burned it.
It was soiled.
Although you did, I was willing to part with this because I didn't want to argue about it. During our divorce, when we split up our possessions that we had to do, because JD came over and took miniatures and D&D books because everything was kept at my apartment.
Right.
And she insisted this Dragonomicon was yours. And I was like, no, I brought that Dragon. No, and she insisted, no, this is Ramon's Dragonomicon. And I was like, okay, it's fine. Give him the Dragonomicon. It's okay. This is my thing. I'll let it go. Give her the Dragonomicon. But as soon as she left, I was like, that's my Dragonomicon. That book I never ever used. That's my Dragonomicon.
Man, I wonder if I still have it.
I bought another one. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Guys, I have an important question for you. If you were to buy a Dragonomicon on Amazon used right now, how much do you think it would be?
The same price because they never go down.
$6. $6 used.
Tyler, $6 used. Ramon, what do you think?
$12.99.
$12.99. Actual retail value of the Dungeons and Dragons book, the Dragonomicon, used on Amazon at the time of this recording is $18.99.
Ooh.
I know that's a high priced.
That's way more
D&D book.
Such a rare find. Such a unique book to part with.
A++. Look now.
That thing, I think I used one NPC out of it, and that's all the book was ever really used for me.
Guys, it's the Book of Dragons. It says so right on the cover. That's a pretty big deal.
The book
but it's about collecting them all, right? It's like you got that space on your shelf.
Trust me, I know. I sold a musical instrument to buy 4 of them, and have regretted it.
This hutch behind me, if all these books were brand new, I'm sitting on $6,000. But if I were to sell them all on Amazon today, I'd get $80.
If it makes you feel any better, I did sell all my 3.5 books, for $700, every single one.
Good.
Yeah, you did pretty good.
Yeah,
I bought a lot of your 3rd edition books. I believe Forgotten Realms and Book of All Darkness and a bunch of stuff.
Book of All Darkness.
Yeah, I've still got it, still down there with the warning tag on it.
Yeah, they got away with a lot of stuff back then in the old Monty Cook days.
That book was easy to use to exploit the game.
yeah, that too.
That's pretty much, I think, what that book was. Where it's just, I think Monty Cook was like, you know what? Fuck your game.
And then
I'm leaving.
Wizard was like, I don't know. That's pretty broken, but it's evil. Good should triumph. We'll make an even more broken book for the good characters.
Yeah.
The Book of Exalted Deeds. What do we need to do it? 1 3rd level magic spell, Hammer of Righteousness. Just write it in there. It'll break everyone's fucking games.
God, that spell pissed me off. I hated that spell.
Yeah, it was used so much even in like DC when I ran games. That was James Livingston's bread and butter.
First of all, guys, I feel like I'm a hipster for saying that I used Hammer of Righteousness first. Everyone else can go fuck themselves because I'm the OG Hammer. Hammer gonna get you.
I never used it. You know why? It's bullshit. I respect the game.
When I used it, that's for sure.
Back in my day, an illusionist had to have a spell with 2 saves to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Phantasmal killer.
That's phantasmal, y'all.
We're slowly just like starting at the episode, broad appeal, 3,000 listeners. As we keep going, now 5
3
people
guys.
understand what we're talking about.
No, everyone loves this. Everyone loves this.
Let's see if we can get it down to just Blake.
I feel like everyone listening is like, Dave's in a pretty good mood. This is weird.
Yeah.
Well, we have some time, Ramon. What are some of your most hated games?
Video games?
You can do video games. You can do any games. Let's just do like some top 5 most hated across the board games. Nothing you just don't like, but games you just actively hate.
There are a few things that I actively hate, but one of them is the game of life.
The actual board game of life, or just this miserable existence on this mortal coil?
Is this a cry for help?
No. That's not a cry for help. No, the actual board game of life. What else do I hate? What is there a video game that I absolutely despise? There's like some game called like something. Oh, El Shaddai.
Oh, I own that, and I have not played it yet.
Oh my god, it is a giant steaming piece of shit.
Good to know.
It is basically like the most pretentious sort of video game. Like, we're making a game that's actually art. You actually don't control the character, you control the surroundings, and the character is you. That's sort of the way the game is.
Sounds pretty good to me, honestly. I'm eating this shit up.
It is a giant pile of steaming shit, and it's like there's no story. It's just like you're in a place. Maybe it's heaven. I'm not sure. And there's a lot of like 80s style neon lights, and the power ups look like they're from like not even like the N64. It's not a recent era game that has been made in the recent era. Like, I don't understand how it got made. It's basically shovelware. What else? What other games do I absolutely hate? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if there's any system that I hate, like gaming system. No, I mean most of like the tabletop gaming systems I like pretty well. Yeah, I would say the Game of Life, Metatron game. A lot of tablet games are terrible. A lot of tablet games are terrible. Yeah, I don't hate a lot of games. Oh, I hate sports games.
Well,
but
right.
I don't.
Of course, those are barely games.
Yeah.
Get them.
I don't consider them games.
I mean, it's okay to hate something you don't understand, right?
Absolutely.
100%. That's the only reason to hate something.
Whew. Okay, good. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
I feel like that was a loaded question. Like, you knew something I hated that I couldn't remember.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right, good.
Not in particular. I'm trying to think of anything like I know that you... I just that ghost thing I know that you hate.
God, fucking... Oh, God. I do.
Other than that, I'm trying to think of like a D&D class that used to... Oh, because I hate it too. It's a 3.0 class. It's all about destroying magic items and not having any magic.
Oh,
Forsaker.
man. Forsaker's the worst.
Yeah. That's basically why I essentially kicked Miller out of a game, because he played Forsaker and I just fucking hated it.
Like, I was going to say hashtag more Miller.
Hashtag less Miller.
Hashtag slightly less Miller because of that. Oh my God, Forsaker. Did anyone else play it?
Josh had talked about it at one point in time, but he didn't.
I'm not a big fan of like broken min-maxing. I'm not a big fan of min-maxing.
You're not going to be a big fan of Blake.
I like Blake.
Game with Blake.
Blake would not
vie.
survive in the game that we do now.
Oh, no.
I think we have reached the point where only Blake is listening. You asked for it earlier, and it has happened.
We crossed over into oath breaking.
Yeah, this is the event horizon.
The one where Ramon makes it where only Blake is left listening.
That wasn't my fault. Look, we can continue. We can talk about whatever. We can talk about the game we're doing now. We can talk about the favorite stuff we have in the past. I do have a lot of fond memories of your guys' characters in previous games. I think that Tyler, your best character you ever had in one of my games was Evangelista. Mm-hmm. Hands down, one of the best characters. Period. Because he was all charisma and. He wasn't the most powerful, and I think that irked you back in the day. I know it irked you.
It was hard. It was hard starting off, going from Eldred, who was my very powerful fighter paladin, half fiend with an Armineer, to Bard with an 8 strength.
Yep. Still one of my favorite characters, though. Glim, obviously. Glim Baron.
That one was mine.
That one was yours. I still feel like Glim and Sindrar could have had a sitcom together.
Yeah.
I feel like that should have happened.
Yeah, that could have happened. It would have been like an Odd Couple kind of thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Sindrar is Jerry and Glim is George?
He looks like George, but he acts like Kramer.
Okay. But I say then River is the one who looks like Kramer, and then the other way around.
These are our D&D characters, by the way, listeners.
As Seinfeld characters.
You know Glim and Sindrar, right?
Now this is basically for Phil Hawkins' notebook about our D&D
characters. This is for nobody now. This isn't even for Phil's secret notebook. This is for nobody.
You need to edit this. You can. We'll get back into it later.
We don't do that anymore. So this is this is just what everyone gets.
Only if you drop racial slurs am I getting there and editing anything.
We don't really record live. I'll put that in air quotes, but we do no editing.
You just keep going. I would say if that's the case, then James Castle was Newman.
which was Jacob's how to best quantify James Castle. His
a character he based on a guy he met.
Well, he's named after a guy he met, but it was just based off of he was the epitome of a snide, pampered prince.
And we threw steaks at him.
Well, you threw it was that that was the worst fight because that's still that's a reason to never like He Who Shall Not Be Named ever again.
Yeah,
because it came down
both there.
You guys were almost dead. His character, He Who Shall Not Be Named's character, doing okay, but so scared of dying against this vampire who is just tearing you guys a new one. So he goes in the back of the room and he's just throwing stakes at him. The only way to kill this guy with throwing stakes is to roll 2 natural 20s in a row.
Right.
And as opposed...
It's not likely. It's not a likely thing.
I remember the guy, one good hit would have killed him. And all his character had to do was just go up and just roll like a 12 or a 13, and he would have been gone. Nope. He goes back to the back and lets him slaughter you guys while he's just throwing these stakes at him.
Yeah. And I spent the entire combat keeping them alive. That was it. That was every round was just like dumping hit points into anybody that needed them. Right?
That is the character that made me play a dervish.
Really?
Yep, that is the character. I was like, what was that? Dervish. Okay, that's my next character, Dervish. And I was like, yep, this is pretty badass.
Yeah.
And then Josh made my Dervish giant and one-shot Tyler's
Killed
boss.
my boss. Yep.
Broke Tyler.
Because I remember I meticulously planned this out. They just bloop, one round. You were like, total that up. Just give it to me at once. 10,420 points of damage.
But that's not even his final form. That's what you could have done.
There were two smoke breaks when I was tabulating damage.
Yeah.
People got so bored of me just crunching numbers like an accountant.
So here's the deal. So that stuff happened when we were in college and a little bit later. Would that stuff happen now?
No, I don't think so.
Yes, now we learned that move that they did wasn't actually possible.
Right.
But that's the thing, though. Coming from Dave's standpoint, Dave, if you did something like that again now, would that be fun for you?
I mean, yeah, I think it would be, honestly. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'd love to be like, no, I've grown as a person. But to be perfectly honest, yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool because that never happens. That shit never happens.
No.
And it's not an issue of it being fun because it's like just totally destroying Tyler's plans. It's more fun because it's just like, holy shit, I cannot believe this is happening. And it's also one of those things where it's like, okay, we've held on to this thing for the entire game. Let's do it. Let's see what happens. Let's do it. So that's really the fun part.
I just feel like, Tyler, you should never allow giant size in your game ever again, because
I've moved on from 3.5. Nope, it's either now Pathfinder, which I'm moving on from, and it'll probably just be 5th edition for a while.
Yeah, 5th edition's pretty baller.
Yeah, I love it.
I do too. And there's been a pretty much consensus across the board that it's a very, very good system. And I honestly, I love the game we're doing now. So for the listener that's still out there, we've kind of talked about it a little bit. I actually run a game with Tyler and Dave and my wife, Link, and Josh. And we do it weekly or bi-weekly, depending on all our schedules. Lately, it's been my schedule because I was gone 7 out of 8 weeks in a row. So it was like
adult schedules really suck. Like to the point where it's like I want to run games now with people who are 22 and under. Which, hey kids, let's play some D&D. I know I look weird. Just deal with it.
Hey kids.
Which I've done that before. I feel like I'm not the right DM for that crowd. I feel like I want to teach a younger DM to DM for them, because I have like 20 and 22-year-old friends that are great players. They're in it for a completely different reason than I am, because they're in it to do. They're like mutants and masterminds kind of players, so they're definitely more of that. Let's deal a lot of damage. Let's kill a lot of shit. Let's get a lot of loot. And I'm like, but how does it make you feel?
Right. I'm not sure that it's necessarily their age. I think a lot of that honestly comes with playing the games for a longer amount of time, which of course, as you're older, you have more time to, you've accumulated more time put into that.
Yeah. Agreed.
Here's a metaphor for it. Like in every vampire movie that you ever see, the young vampires are all about like just beating people up and just getting laid, but like the older vampires, they're all bisexual because they've tried it all. So really, like, that was us in the beginning, and now we're all bisexuals, and we just want to try, everything at a lower pace. Take everything on. Yeah. Let's get into it.
We're also okay with not trying. We're like, it's cool. I got laid 72 years ago. It's not a big deal.
I'm gonna spend this session just writing in my journal, my character's journal. I'll post it on Facebook. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like we have whole sessions where we just do RP, and I think some of the time those are our best sessions.
Oh, I love sessions like that. Yeah. I think those are great.
Mm-hmm. To keep everyone on board, though, I gotta throw in some combat here and there. But I agree. I like role playing, just role playing sessions. My absolute favorite system is the Chaosium Call of Cthulhu.
That's a great system, and that's a great system for Call of Cthulhu. Like that system. I don't think would be fun in any other setting.
Context.
Call of Cthulhu. Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. My most favorite Call of Cthulhu game that I played, and I've only played a few, was one that Dave, you ran. It was me, John Turley, and Corey Cagle.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually hadn't spent much time with Corey, but he and I hit it off pretty well. And it was just the three of us, and I think we played maybe 2 nights.
We did 3, I think.
We did 3 I remember your AC broke in like one of the hottest days of summer. It was like in August back it was before my son was born, so it was like in 2007, 2008, and it was like one of the hottest summers we ever had. And I was like, oh, let's just go to my apartment, right, which wasn't my apartment. Come to find out later. But I subsequently moved in the following week. I had a key, so I thought it was my apartment, right? No, it was my girlfriend's apartment. Because I wasn't paying rent until the next week. That's when I was like, okay, well, fuck it, I'll just pay rent. That should cover the AC cost. Anyway, great game. I think we each played to our strengths. But that was the first time that I actually saw John Turley like come out of his shell a little bit, and it was awesome because he played a slightly Irish guy, and every time he messed up his own accent, he would make himself laugh.
Yeah, yeah. John did like. I think honestly, I think that's the best role playing that John's ever done.
Oh yeah, because without a doubt,
because he was, and I think that's really important in role playing is to be like because he was active and he was not afraid to make mistakes. And I think like those are two like huge obstacles in getting somebody to role play.
Yeah, not being afraid to make mistakes is I think that's the big one.
And that's a big stumbling block for me, honestly, at Dragon Con. I don't role play really well at Dragon Con because when I'm there at pickup games, a lot of times I'm more interested in the system and I want to learn the system. And I'm also intimidated by all these people I don't know. And that's a problem because I have a hard time coming out of my shell.
Yeah. I mean, I think I do too. I put on a big facade because I'm like a national trainer, but when it comes down to like personal interaction, I'm like sort of reserved as well. I'm interested. Obviously, I'm going to Dragon Con too. This will actually be my first year, so I am super excited.
Are you looking forward to anything in particular? I've been curious about this.
Watching Nicole throw up.
I mean, that's a good reason. That's a good reason to go.
I don't know if that's. I mean, that's high up there. That's like top 3, right? Honestly, actually, just getting time to get to know Nicole because I actually don't know Nicole very well. But I feel like her heart is as black and twisty as mine is. So I feel like we will have a wonderful time sitting in the corner and judging people. But honestly, just like there's a bunch of because I'm a big voice actor nerd. So there's a bunch of voice actors I want to meet. Yuri Lowenthal is there, which he's actually in a lot of the shows you like, Tyler. He's been on Naruto, and a bunch of sci-fi like actors are there. Steve Amell is there. That my wife is like. That's the reason she wants to go. Is go touch him.
Who is this?
The Arrow.
Oh, okay.
From CW's The Arrow.
The Arrow from Modern Family.
Exactly. But so there's a bunch of like CW people there, and then there's a bunch of sci-fi people there. The guy who I think would play my dad in real life, Edward James Olmos, is going to be there. So I'm looking forward to all that. Mostly meeting people, but like mostly just hanging out, catching up. It's sort of like a reunion for me. I get to talk to you guys, every other week, but like I actually haven't seen Josh. I don't actually know if he's really alive yet. Like I haven't seen Josh in years. I get to see Jacob again.
His spirit's alive in all of us, Ramon.
I mean, it's sort of alive.
Josh has never been alive. He's just this thing that we all share. He's like a legacy virus that we all have, and it's manifested himself as Josh.
Right.
He's our single-serving friend.
If any of us were a Cylon, it would be Josh. Let's go ahead and throw that out there.
That actually kind of makes sense now that you put that out there. Man, does he like his room warm.
Yeah.
Just like a Cylon would.
Yeah. Well, we're running long, so we should probably go ahead and wrap this up.
Sure thing.
But thank you for coming on, Ramon. I enjoyed this.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was good. So thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, or SoundCloud. So don't miss the next episode. We're going to be talking about Majora's Mask.
Again.
Yeah.
Because, woo, boy.
It might more segue into the movie The Mask. We'll have to see.
We might just watch The Mask.
And do live commentary.
It's just the sound of The Mask playing somewhere in the distance.
us just eating food.
Every now and then chuckling a little bit.
Getting a cry, I guess checking Facebook.
Is it watching The Mask while playing music in the major key of A? Get it?
I don't.
Nope.
Too far.
I don't get it.
Major A.
I still don't get it.
Nope.
Still don't get it.
Someone will.
Majora?
Because
major A?
I'm going to say, if you get it, listener, let us know.
I think that's A major. That's a stretch.
Well, I'm trying to make people listen to Majora's Mask.
We still love and need 5-star iTunes reviews. It helps us out a lot.
It fuels us.
So we try to incentivize you to help us. So leave us a 5-star written review. And in that written review, if there's a game you want us to play, a guest host you want for a certain episode, or anything you want us to do, fuck it, I don't know. Whatever gets you to get up there and put a 5-star written review. Whatever you put in there, we promise we will get to it eventually.
Don't worry, guys. Like Tyler said, we're going to be back. We're going to be talking about Majora's Mask, or as you may know it, A Major. And in the meantime, you can always find us on tadpog.com. That's where the show notes live. You can find us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/tadpog. If there's anything you have to say about this episode in particular, that is the place to let us know. Tyler will make an episode post and just shout the things at us. I'm actually kind of curious if what you think about Ramon's favorite board games is what I'm interested in. Because I love board games, and I wish I had more time to play board games. It's one of those things where I often have to decide whether I'm going to play a tabletop role-playing game or a board game, and tabletop role-playing game almost always wins out. Man, that was a tangent in the middle of an outro. You're welcome, Internet. Right. You can find us on Twitter. We are at tadpog_podcast. It's cucumbersome. Pardon me. I realize. Thank you for everybody who's retweeting us, particularly our episode tweets, because that helps spread the word of the show. So that is really cool of you. You can call us if you want. If you want to be featured on one of our all-call shows, feel free to give us a ring at 270-883-2555. You can text us as well, but I do promise I will fuck up whatever you text. Finally, if you like what we're doing and would like to see that continue, feel free to donate at Patreon. We're at patreon.com/tadpog. A lot of great listeners have already done so, and we very much appreciate it. I'm a cheap guy. So I'm a cheap guy. I don't like spending money on much. So when I see the dollars roll in, it's like, wow, people really do give a shit about us. That's cool.
It's pretty cool.
Can almost pay for pizza.
Yeah, we can have a pizza party. Although Tyler won't let me.
We'll get Taryn drunk and she'll buy us plenty of pizza. It'll be fine.
Tyler wants to improve the show. Ramon, do you have anything you want to plug or anything? Or
anything I want to plug?
Yeah, you want people to
dad ass.
You want
Tyler and all up in that ass.
You want people to follow you or something?
Yeah, it's deep cut now.
Look, guys, Countdown's Corner is on long hiatus. I hope to actually possibly record our game that we play via tabletop at some point.
That would be cool.
Who knows? That's going to, of course, be up to the players. But you know what? You're probably going to see me on the internet at some point in the future. I would say be looking out for BlizzCon coverage from Samsung coming up pretty soon. And I'm actually, if somebody wants to hit me up on Twitter, you can. It's I believe it's at RG Countdown. And you want me to give you a shout out at BlizzCon, I will. Of course, that's way down the road. But yeah, if you ever see me in a video online just talking about anything, I'm on Newegg's website. I'm on Best Buy's website several times a year. So if you ever see me on there, just be like, hey, that's Ramon, or hey, that's Countdown. I will totally give you a shout out. But other than that, not much. It's Ramon Federico.
Hey, it's Ramon Federico.
Fettuccine. I'm sorry, I said it wrong.
How dare you?
Rick. Say it right.
Have some cultural sensitivity, damn it.
Oh, man. I do know where your song is, or I know what it is, but Tyler hasn't asked me yet, so I'll wait.
Hey, Ramon.
Yeah.
Our theme song. What is that?
It's Moves by Sycamore Drive. A link to the track can be found on the show notes at tadpog.com.
This is all factual information. Good job. Thank you.
I know we normally leave it up to the guest on how we want to close it out, but I have a special request. Because before we started recording, Ramon did a spectacular Shaggy impression. So I would like to close it out as Shaggy, or our favorite Scooby-Doo character.
Sure.
Okay. Let's see. So until next time, Tropical Capricorn.
Tropical Capricorn. I can. Oh yeah. So my son does not appreciate my Scooby Doo, or Shaggy
Do them both.
impressions. Okay.
To be fair, your Shaggy is the singer. Doesn't make any sense.
And no one really likes his music.
Shaggy.
Right.
Oh.
It wasn't me.